Hello everybody and welcome back to another great episode with me, Steve at IHT, and today we're going to continue our trade education provider review series, but this is going to be a little side segment, and it's around my last video that I talked about the whole Learn to Trade Greg Secker review video, and one of the things that I had on direct messages was a couple of people asking me about my comment around Greg's breakout strategy. And, you know, why was it bullshit? You know, and I called out there, right? It's bullshit. So today I want to really look at that today and just do a little video really jumping into the breakout strategy, why it's not good, and also how you can see it yourself without even paying Greg and Learn to Trade the tens of thousands of pounds that you're going to need to even get access to this strategy, right? So let's go and have a look at the videos in question. So here are two videos that I'm going to focus on today. One, the top one is on Greg's site, Greg Secker Learn to Trade, and he talks about this breakfast breakout strategy, the best strategy in the world. And he says it's Forex for beginners. Well, like I said to you before, you can buy the course for Learn to Trade between whatever they're selling it for today, between £3,000 to £6,000. Well, actually, you don't get breakfast breakout. You have to pay them another £3,000 to £6,000, if not more, to get access to this strategy that I'm going to expose today. And then the other video we're going to look at is a video that Greg did with a podcast YouTuber called On a Mission, and he tells us why he believes in this strategy so much. Okay, and then we're actually going to review this strategy with some back testing as well. So I'll give all that detail in a little bit. So let's go and have a look at the videos. Listen to what he says.
I'm doing it right now. I trade it every
doing
day.
it right now. I trade it every day. Breakfast breakout. So he needs to concentrate on not flapping his arms around. He's going to poke her in the eye in a minute. So all the indices.
They're like a collection of companies, right? They move us away.
Wow, watch your arms, buddy. Watch your arms, buddy.
It's like a chart goes up and down.
There it is there.
In the early morning session when that market opens at 8 o'clock
Here we go.
to 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock till 9.
Right, you'll have lots of trades being closed the day before.
Lots of trades being closed the day before. And they're in and out, right? Is the long and short of it. He can wave all his hands around like a magician if he wants. But the point is that he's saying the first hour of the session open. Okay, the first hour of the session open. Let's actually look at this in smart charts with Greg here in his other video on his website.
Of the range. So let's say the range in itself was 35.
So there you go. So here in this example, we see the price pre-open. Then this blue box here signifies the first hour of trading. And this is done on the 5-minute time frame. So the first hour of trading. And within that first hour, as he says in his, On the Mission podcast video, it's up and down. Okay, so it's defining this range within that first hour. Once that hour finishes, then his breakout strategy begins. And look at these things. There's a buy entry there, a stop loss there, and a take profit there. It's 1-to-1 risk to reward. Okay?
Pips. We're
So
looking to take that on the upside, and we're looking to place our stop loss the other side of the range.
So the other side of the range, and look at this. The range is built in this volume. He wants to take profit that equal volume. So this again on the upside. So he's wanting price to now, after the first hour this range is set, he wants it to, from here, push out and continue up until it hits his target, right? And his stop loss at the other side of the range. Now I'm going to give you a spoiler alert here and tell you what this actual range is, because it's not breakfast fucking Greg Sucker breakout. It's not. Okay, here we are in TradingView software. I swear by it. You can actually use this software for free. It's a bit limiting, but you can use it for free. And wow, look at what I've got here. I've got a breakfast breakout. Whoa, chill out. No way. Is it because I'm busy friends with Greg? No, it's not. It's because actually this is not called the breakfast breakout. this defining range, and as you can see my timestamp, so from 8, I'm in the UK, so from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., right? This range is defined. This range is the highest point of that hour and the lowest point of that hour. And actually, it is called the defining range. That's its actual real name, okay? And here on the left-hand side, I have a little indicator here called DRIDR. DR, defining range. The IDR is the implied defining range. Now, the implied defining range is actually from the close and open, okay? So the close of the day and the open of the day, that's sort of the defining range. But we're only going to, the IDR, we're only going to talk about the DR. So this is what he's suggesting. He does it every day. And what he wants is after this defining range, he is going to put a, a stop loss, a short trade here. We're going to cover the top of the range and we're going to hit 1-to-1. And wow, look at that. We get a winner. Nice and easy. He does this every day. He swears by it. It's the best strategy you could ever take. Now, why is he so committed? He's so committed because actually the DRIDR range, this range here that's being planned out here on every day. So let's go over to this one, every day. And then let's go to this one, every day. What this does is actually a historic, amazing strategy and formula that states 88% of the time, if price breaks out of the high DR or the low DR, it will never break the opposite DR. 88% of the time. You should know this if you're a trader. These defining ranges are very, very cool. We can play a lot with this. However, if it breaks out within session, by the way, so you see these lines end here because this is the UK session that the DRIDR is set to. If it breaks out of the range within this session, it will never break the opposite side. Well, I say never. 88% of the time, it works every time. So 88% of the time, it will never break the low. It doesn't mean that this is going to happen all the time, right? So if we come back to the previous day, look, it broke out and then it came down and oh my goodness me, it broke the low, right? So it's not always going to work. It's not always going to work. And if we continue back here, look, it broke, but it never, within this session, it never broke this side. Once it breaks one side, it never breaks the other, 88% of the time. And here again, it broke, brilliant, it's in the upside. But it never, within this session, never broke the other side. Now, this is something we can use to our advantage, but as you can see, with using Greg's rules here, with a upward break, let's buy it, cover the loss, cover the low. I want a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You know what? It's not as simple as that, as you can see here. Let's have a look at this trade. Well, it breaks the low, but actually it comes back and it stays inside itself most of the day, which is quite common, by the way. Okay, and here I close the trade at the open of the next day to try and cut the loss. Okay, and then we go here. This one never broke the high or the low of the DR. Let's go back to the previous day here, Friday, 25th of August. Here it breaks the high, and it does, mate. It's a winning trade. Perfect. This one never really got going, and I close it here for a small profit. Here, another profit. Wow, Greg, you're amazing. You know your shit. Obviously, here, loss. Okay, here, loss. Here, loss. Yeah. So I'm just looking at every day using Greg's strategy. This is the breakfast breakout. Our defining range. I break out, brilliant. Break out, buy it, no, loss. Okay, there's another loss. Here, we got a win. The next one, wow, look at that one. Well, I closed it because it starts a new day, right? And this one, here, wow, that was going to be a big loss. We closed it as break even nearly. This one here broke down. We got a nice win. This one, a loss. This one, a loss. So remember, it's 1-to-1, but you've got commissions in this as well. So actually, I saved you all the trouble. I did back testing for 5 months. Okay, 5 months, people. I did back testing for 5 months, and it was not pretty, right? It was not pretty, and I'll show you this now. So here we are in Microsoft Excel, where I recorded all of the testing. And the testing is defined whether it's a win. So we do that, breakfast breakout. If it's a win, 1-to-1 risk to reward, it's not always going to be 1,000 because we're paying commissions. And I've tried to include the commissions at $21 actually, US for commissions. And you pay commissions on a losing trade as well as a winning trade, people. Okay, just so you know. So I started in April. This is Monday, the 3rd of April, 2023. And do you know what? It's the breakfast breakout backtest session. I would not have been surprised if this was the 1st of April. April Fools, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Secker's pulling our leg, right? But anyway, let's go for it. And it starts reasonably well, right? 4 wins on the bounce. I get a loss. Break even is when it starts the next day and I cut the losses, and or I close for a partial win. I did this because otherwise it can continue. It can wipe out an entire week before it even closes. Yeah, and it can bleed over a weekend. And I know a lot of you don't like spending your money on holding trades overnight, let alone across the weekend. You're paying, especially if it's going to be a loser. You're paying a lot of money in commissions and swaps. So here we go. So we're starting really good through April as we go. But a long list of losers, 5 losers on the bounce before I break even, another loser, a few winners, some more losers. But it's these big losers. You will never be able to do this on a funded trial for a funded account. You will never be able to do breakfast breakout on a funded because of the drawdown is so high. And in fact, actually, as we go through May, not really very good. Most of May was losses. Then we go into June. Look at that. I don't know who can cope with that drawdown, but certainly not me. I'm not interested in that. And like I said, you do not even get, this is a trading strategy for beginners, right? If you want to alienate people, then give them this strategy because they'll never want to trade, right? So here we go into July. Bit more winners to cope with all those losses we've achieved so far. But as you can see, it really does not get any better. We've got some break-evens. I've called it a break-even, as I said, because I closed the order before it either hit stop or hit take profit. Some were losses, some were winners. It evens itself out, okay? But here, as we see, it didn't go very well. It's not very good. And in fact, actually, the win ratio is a 43%. I do not count break-evens in a win or loss. So this is either it won or it lost. And out of the ones that won or lost, it won 43% of the time, netting me a £12,500 loss for that period. Who wants the breakfast breakout now? You can look at this, and you can look at this on TradingView. So here in TradingView, you can see it was not good. It was not good. Winner, loss. That didn't really break out of the session. That didn't break out of the session. Here, loss, 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 winner, loss, winner, loss, loss. I can't do this strategy. This is crazy. But Greg swears by it. Greg swears that he does it every single day. It's the easiest strategy for beginners, right? It's the easiest strategy for beginners.
This
he's telling you.
Range that established itself for that 60-minute period. quickest way, as always, to show you how to do this is just to jump.
So when you look at psychology,
into smart charts,
you know that him moving around, itching his nose, the way that his mannerisms are, the psychology tells us that he's really not confident in what he's doing. And not necessarily confident as a trader. He's a successful trader, let's not lie. However, it's a big business getting people to try and spend money because they want to learn to trade, right? And these are the strategies that he's telling people to use. And it's not good. I'm telling you, it's not good. If you're looking at these strategies, all these strategies here, again, you don't get a lot of these strategies, right? Money maker breakout, pip runner, trend tracker, interbank, shapeshifter. You don't get any of these when you pay £3,000 to £6,000. You don't get breakfast breakout either. Now we see these ones flashing here, right? These are the ones where the 1 hour opening session is finished. So that would be the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. In the morning in the UK time for the UK 100. So if we look at what he's going to click on, which is the UK 100, we see the defining range. Yeah, and remember, this is DR, IDR. It's nothing to do with breakfast breakout or anything Greg's doing super or whatever. This is normal stuff. And this range is, everybody knows this range who's a professional trader, right? We know this range. And we know that if it breaks one side, 88% of the time, it will not break the opposite side. It doesn't mean that you randomly buy it as it breaks. That's a joke, right? And it's nothing that you need to be, looking at and going, wow, look what he's showing us. He's a trustworthy guy. He's in the public domain, blah, blah, blah. This is not a good strategy to use. And here, what he's doing is he'll wait within this session. He'll wait for price to break out. So let's see if he actually shows this breakout, which I don't think we're gonna show. Oh yeah, here we go. Look, now he's going through the history. Well, I can show you a few winners, can't I? Yeah, look at that one. That one won. Oops. Let's just go back. Greg's getting a bit fast in his old age. That one won. That one won. Brilliant, Greg. That one won. Why? Because it's a higher time frame pullback. Or if it was a 4 hour, that's just a 4 hour pullback, and that's fine. But if you don't know that and you're randomly trying it and you do this and you go, wow, this is gold dust, I'm winning all the time, and then suddenly you get the reality that you're only hitting a 43% win rate. That's the truth of it. That is the truth of it. So as I say, Greg believes in this breakfast breakout. But it's not the breakfast breakout, it's the DR, IDR, okay? And if anybody wants me to go into it, I can do a video on it. I actually trade the DR as my daily strategy. I only trade UK 100, so I know this strategy, which is what winds me up the most. And it's a very successful strategy for me. Greg says it's a strategy he uses every day, which is what I showed you. He buys it on the break and then does a 1-to-1 risk to reward, the range of that, the value of that range, right? So however many pips or points or ticks or whatever you want to call it, he does the TP on that, and the stop loss is the other side of the range. Crazy, blind, crazy. Buy the breakout and target the total range points for your take profit, stop loss the other side of the range. It doesn't work like that. The DR doesn't work like that. Just because 88% of the time, once it breaks one side, it will not break the other side 88% of the time. That's good ratings, but how do you use that to your advantage? Don't just buy it randomly and expect it to go to the moon every time it breaks, because it will not do that, okay? So, in summary, the breakfast breakout from Greg Secker and Learn to Trade is just bullshit. I mean, it's just the DR, IDR, which you can find on TradingView. I showed you that in that indicator. That will define the range for you, nice and easy. And in order to get access to this, what Greg's saying is you must pay him thousands of your hard-earned money just to get access to the DR ranges in Smart Charts with Learn to Trade. Like, what the fuck is that all about? It's crazy, right? It's absolute crazy. So don't listen to Greg, okay? This strategy isn't easy, and it's not as simple as he states. He's trying to fill his pockets. He wants you, the gullible partner, to come in, the gullible punter, to come in give him your money because he's going to make you successful. He's going to train you. You know what? You'll never even speak to the guy. You'll speak to some coaches and they'll try and convince you that this is it. They'll try and get more money out of you. And all they're doing is trying to get your life cycle. They don't care whether you learn to trade or not. They don't care. They just want the here and now easy money, because there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people wanting to be a trader. It's not easy. So I stick by this, as I did in my last video. IHT rating 1 out of 10. Don't get sucked in by these companies. Trading is hard. We all want to be a trader. Just think about it. Don't spend your hard-earned on this. You can find it all out online. Just find someone you can relate to online, whether it's a YouTuber, whether it's in Discord, whether it's in a social group, whatever. Just find someone you can relate to and be comfortable first. Do that for a year or two. It will take you a long time to learn to trade. It's not a 2-second job. There are very, very, very few people that are profitable after 12 months of learning to trade. It's going to take more like 2 to 4 years. That's the real shake of the green. I took 2.5 years. So think about it. Anyway, it's shit like that that really makes me say, I fucking hate trading.